Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we've just got a quick piece here because I semi-partially covered it earlier, but I did sort of do a heads up in a previous video this morning about the interview that Humza Yousaf gave. And so I just wanted to say that I wanted to go into that just a slight bit more detail, which I'm doing here. And it is that it's appearing, at least, that Humza Yousaf is starting to walk away slowly. He's distancing himself just by a few things that he said. Perhaps it's something he should have done on day one, but he obviously hasn't. He didn't want to act quickly, and so he's acted weakly, and that is the problem that he's got. But we've covered the fact that he's looking weak, and that even members of the SNP are saying that. But now we're looking as though he is starting to pick up on the idea that perhaps, sticking by his friend is not the best thing to do, and he's going to start and try and look like and pretend that he's got a bit of leadership about him, which of course is far too late for that. But anyway, we'll take a quick look at this. Not a big video, but it is one that I think just gives a new sort of variation on a theme as to Humza Yousaf and his intent. Here goes. So Humza Yousaf accused of distancing himself from Michael Matheson's scandal as his career teeters on the brink. Now we have to ask, whose career? Matheson's or Yousaf's? I think both of them are very much on a sugary peg on this one. The Scottish Government's Health Secretary should have handled the situation better, claimed the First Minister, as the pair head into a pivotal week for both of their careers. Yeah, they're both aligning themselves, and I think this will be it. I think this week Matheson is done. He's going to have the vote of no confidence, but there's no guarantee he'll win it. There are people within the SNP who are very much against him. And again, that is a heads up to another video that'll be coming out later this afternoon. These things run into each other, you see. I don't just throw this stuff together. There is a little bit of planning on it. So we have another story about how he's alienating himself from the party and others within the party, which we'll cover later. Another heads up, but keep an eye out for that one. Do hit the subscribe button. Don't want to miss that one either. Anyway, Humza Yousaf has been accused of distancing himself from his faithful ally Michael Matheson as the Health Secretary's career in government teeters on the brink. The Falkirk West MSP is facing a vote of no confidence this week as pressing questions about his data roaming scandal remain unanswered. Of course, this is the one we're saying that, they all want this to go away, but nobody is letting this go away, and they should have known that it wasn't going away. He should have resigned. He should have given his speech, and at the end of his speech, apologised and said that he was resigning from government and was going to go sitting back on the back benches, promised to repay it, apologise, like that, and move on. And that would have been the end of it. That would have been the scandal done, dusted, put away, would move on to whatever the next scandal will be, because there's undoubtedly another one. There always is. It is, after all, the SNP. But at least that one would have been dealt with. He could go off. He would lick his wounds, and whatever. But no, he wants to fight. He makes himself out to look like a complete wanker by blaming his children. Do you know, it's not good. Anyway, in a remarkable change of tone, the First Minister admitted during an interview with the BBC Radio 4 at Broadcasting House, his friend should have handled the situation better. This was different from his full-throated defence of his minister earlier last week. Mr Matheson gave an emotional explanation, pulls out onion, fakes tears, how he managed to rack up an £11,000 data roaming bill during his festive break to Morocco. And he claimed his kids had watched Scottish football, including the Old Firm game, without telling him. Bullshit. He knew. We've seen the Twitter feed where he's on there asking how you get the game. So we know he's lying again. He just can't help himself. The SNP and lies, they go together, They just, one automatically leads to the other. Anyway, he said he only found out about it this week. We all know that's a lie. Days after claiming that it was a faulty iPad SIM card. Again, more lies that caused the charges, and said it was all from constituency work that he was doing on holiday. More lies. We had one that's that woman that said that he kept blanking her over things. So again, more lies. It's lies heaped upon lies heaped upon lies. He can't help it. And even when he's caught out, he then lies. It's ridiculous. He told the media on Monday that his device had not been subject to personal use, even though his children confessed a few days prior. more lies. You see the pattern emerging here, don't you? Anyway, the Scottish Government Health Secretary has been called on to resign by opposition parties for misleading both MSPs and journalists, and the First Minister has been urged to sack him, and already being urged to sack him by members of his own party. His career is on the line, heading into another pivotal week at Holyrood. Yousaf himself dodged questions from Scottish journalists on BBC Scotland to instead go for a gentler time speaking to London-based broadcasters on Radio 4, where he hoped fewer people in Scotland would listen. He backed his minister and claimed he had not misled him, but we know that that also is a lie. When will they ever stop lying? And then he's just going on. A lot of that we covered on the earlier one today. Humza Yousaf is paying the price for trying to minimise this scandal by seeking to cover it up. And now he's frantically distancing himself and his SNP government from the fallout he and his health secretary have created. And Yousaf has repeatedly tried to shut down the debate on this scandal, claiming on Wednesday that matter was now closed. Again, another lie, because no, it really isn't. And despite being told the day before of the apparent real reason behind the bill. And then on Thursday, he continued to back him, saying it was an honest mistake. And again, not a lie. That's a lie. That's not the truth. It wasn't an honest mistake. It was deliberate fraud. He knew. We have the Twitter feed. We have the evidence. We have all of this. He deliberately made the claim. That claim was deliberate. And he didn't question £11,000. At the very least, he would have known that there was something amiss and he would have investigated it. And if he truly, truly wants to apologise and claim that it was just football, hand over the iPad. Let them examine it and let them see that it was just football. And the very fact he's not handing that over leads us to only one conclusion, and that is that it wasn't just football. And that means I suspect it was something very, very dark indeed. Until it's investigated, we'll never know, and so the rumours go on. But what do we think? What are we led to think? What are we almost bound to think? Humza Yousaf needs to grow a pair and fire him, remove from him the iPad and hand it over to an independent body for a full investigation. But that's never going to happen, is it? Stopping there, coming up. Of course, one of the basic problems is, given how many previous scandals that have involved, say, sexual shenanigans, the last thing the SNP want or need is yet another one. And yet the very fact that this guy refuses to hand over that iPad for full examination means it probably is more sexual shenanigans. They can't help themselves. Between that and the lies, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? They really are a nasty bunch. And it isn't going away, no matter how many times they beg people to please stop questioning, please stop asking, please let it die, please don't keep on about it. Fine, hand over the iPad, fire your minister, make sure he pays it back, and if there's anything wrong, let's have him taken to court, even if it's only for fraud. But if there's anything else, let's have him up there for that as well. I shall stop. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, you can't trust any of them. They're all a rather dirty lot. Bye.